across the country. In flames of death, turn the rain, we ride towards the fight. When the darkness is falling down, in the times of awful rise, the sound of evil laughter falls around the world tonight. Fighting hard, fighting on cold steel, through the wastelands evermore. The scattered souls will feel the hell that is wasted on the shores. On the blackest flames in hell's domain, we
Something happened. Frang lessons. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang. A name, and not a name. Nothing happened to Frang. A stray, taken in by a miller. That's all. Frang cannot be a Dalriada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he's not of the tribes. Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. Not seen in the south for a long time. Must be dead. A place without a leader. As I see it, I will finally fall apart. One way or another. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's, which is to say, nothing. Now they're a bit like Frang. Strays with no home. But Rhys is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis? He's funny. I like him. Rawson? I know nothing about her. And Dugald? A man who became Frank's father. He has my gratitude. Don't bother. Frang never met the Keepers, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Should it do that? The keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang.
Still here, still breathing.
You've come to put me in the cage. What? You had me there. I like you already. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's all right, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Frank? That boy is golden, I'm telling you. Smart, nice, quiet though. He keeps his head down. Only once did I see him angry, and whoa, that was something. I thought he was going to kill me on the spot. That was back on the road, right after we met. We came here later. He sure did. I nicked Dugald's roast squirrel. It was the last one. Supposed to be his. But I forgot. I felt really bad about it. Normally, Dugald would tear me a new one. You know how it is. Miller's blood runs hot. But when Frank lunged at me, Dugald was speechless, completely shocked. Cole had to calm Frank down. Cole was a great guy. Frank, a thief? Nah, not a chance. He's got principles. Frank's not just your regular Avalonian kid. He acts differently, like he's not from here. If they were to hang him, I'd take his place. Well, no I wouldn't. But you know what I mean. Frank's a good one. Truly. Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere where I could just do some goldsmithing, but I'm a bit scared. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about, even if I still had one. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them business people. I was once traveling with a caravan that got attacked by him. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in. Came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew what I wanted to craft. They gave me a couple of days. Tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice, went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? Of course I would. That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that.
Still here, still breathing. Didn't think anyone would stop by.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Duras freeloaders? What do you take me for? A senile old idiot? I know that my boy keeps sending all of you little pissants to snoop around his old man. Oh, how worried he must be. Ho ho. How did you all get it into your stupid heads that I am ill, huh? That's bullshit. Everyone's going on about how old Gabon's gonna keel over any time soon. And me? Still here, ain't I? Arseholes. I'm old enough to know what I'm talking about. I served my time. I've lived my life. And now you can all kiss my arse. So there. I swear, each one's dumber than the last. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Why the sudden interest? Maybe if you bring me a drink, I'll humor you. Then you can kiss my arse. I ain't spilling my guts to strangers. Drinking buddies, though. If there's something you want to know, you'll need to treat me first.
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison?
Oh, so many questions. How about a drink first, and then we'll talk? Ah. So, what was your question? Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. Curious, aren't you? Fetch me a drink and we'll see about the chat. curious, aren't you? Fetch me a drink and we'll see about a chat. Ah. So, what was your question? That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. You sure have a lot of questions. Grab me a drink first, then we'll see. Ah. So, what was your question? You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. Why all the poking around? Get me something to drink, and we'll talk. Ah. So, what was your question? I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked, well, anybody. I liked me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails, loyal to a fault. A kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn fool mission that was. We went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my eyes. A hard loss it was, but I'm still here. Oh, some days I wonder why. You're digging a little deep, aren't you? Bring me a drink, and I'll consider talking. Ah. So, what was your question? Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the Orns. Damn fool mission that was. But here wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff to get under your skin. Looked like... hell, memories all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Feast, you say? Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know? Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, like Grindelows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. But when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my dreams. So, I drink. My brothers deserved better.
You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a weird beast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore. No, I don't recall anything like that. But that means... No. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore.
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. A problem? No. No problem, just rambling to myself. But now that I look at you, sure enough, you don't look like one of them. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Back then, sure, civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window, along with our pride. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft, weak, the lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. You see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. I don't know, but you could put something on the table, and then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley. Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him.
You see that? Not one, but two noble ladies in a tavern tonight. That's a rare sight around here.
Aye, I saw 'em. You don't see their kind much in places like this. Makes you wonder what brings 'em down here.
One's Lady Elaine, a scholar from Farshire. Thought about talking to her, but I'd probably just make an ass of myself.
Elaine, eh? Yeah, she's known for her smarts. Better keep your mouth shut around her, unless you want to feel about as sharp as a blunt axe.
And the other one, Lady Elisa. Not as smart as Elaine, but she's certainly posh. Got the airs of royalty without the smarts to back it up.
Ha! Elisa, yeah. She's got the looks, but don't expect her to be cracking any books. Doesn't need to. Not with that Duncan by her side. Though from what I've seen, they don't seem to like each other all that much.
Yeah, I've noticed. They sit together but act like strangers. Makes you wonder why they even bother.
Probably all for show. I reckon Duncan's got his own problems, but Elisa, she's too wrapped up in herself to notice.
Oi, Noel. What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
You're so daft, Randall. Some magical lass living in a lake gave the king the sword when he broke his own bashing four-armed skulls.
So, the one in the stone, what's that called? It's not Excalibur, is it?
Nah, the one in the stone was called, don't know. Sword in the stone, I guess.
Sod it. Whatever. So, if I pulled the sword in the stone from the, stone, and it broke, but only a little, would I still get to be king?
What? No. You'd have to pull out all of it. Only the one who pulls out the sword gets to be king, yeah? Not the one who pulls out a bit of the sword.
Wait, but if you have a sword and it breaks, do you tell everyone that you have a sword, or that you have a piece of the sword? Besides, you can always take it to the smith and he can fix a new tip.
But if he fixes a new tip, it won't be the same sword.
Are you off your knocker? How's it not the same sword? So, what is it now? A plowshare?
A shit share.
Listen, just listen to me. You've got it all wrong. You've got a sword, right? And then the tip breaks off, so you attach a new one, right? But then, let's just say it breaks again.
That's one shitty sword you have there.
Now, listen to me. Now, damn it. It breaks off, so you fix it with a new piece again. And then it happens again, and again, and again. Until you finally get yourself a whole new blade from the smith. So get this, if the whole blade was replaced, is it still the same sword?
Well, no, it isn't.
There you have it. You just need to be, what's the word? Rational.
Fine. Now let's have a drink. My throat's drier than a priestess purse.
See, now you sound rational.
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I have tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? You can talk. Now, I'm sure we'll get along. My name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. By the All-Mother, don't tell me you don't know what Farshire is. The largest duchy in the middle of the island, with the wise Lady Kincaid in power, who has a hold over the entire territory. Nothing? Oh, really? I know, child. I know. Everyone was surprised. Camelot turned up their noses at this for years. But after Lord Kincaid died and Aidan, Lady Kincaid's son, disappeared, the nobles of Farshire decided she could stay on the throne. Even if Aidan had been alive, she would still be ruling as a regent until he came of age. But between you and me, he wasn't a very bright boy. So she would have been ruling until her death anyway. Oh, we're lucky to have her. Difficult times require determined leaders. Worse than ever. Oh, the wordness is thickening, and the roads are getting dangerous and unpredictable. That's why I'm here, wandering Avalon looking for solutions. If I don't do this, who will, hmm? You're probably wondering what a feeble old lady who can't even lift a sword could possibly accomplish. But King Arthur didn't conquer Avalon just because he couldn't swing a blade. No, he had knowledge, and enough wisdom to know how to use it. Lady Kincaid wasn't happy when she found out about this idea. But all mother's mercy, I am her tutor. She cannot dictate what I do, no matter her standing. Oh, do you mean a family? Oh, I've never had time for such trifles. No suitor was ever more interesting than a good book, nor did any of them smell better either. And I've raised enough of other people's children to never wish for my own.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave lightkeepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style. And I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell... It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
fix anything.
Oh, there you are. Look, darling, it's the lovely mercenary I hired to clear out that seaside estate I told you about.
You did what?
Well, you told me to deal with it, so I did. You didn't expect me to just sit on my hands while surrounded by unwashed fishermen, did you?
Look, I'm sorry about my wife. Whatever she told you to do, forget about it. I'll pay you for your trouble. Trust me, I can imagine. Unfortunately, she often gets lost in her enthusiasm. We weren't, at least I wasn't planning on staying here any longer than necessary. We have no need for an estate.
Well, that's your opinion. One I simply do not share. You have? Oh, that's wonderful. I can start planning the welcoming banquet. I'm thinking sea foam made of spun silver, dancers dressed as alluring sea creatures.
And who are you going to invite, The crabs? None of your friends from Camelot are going to come all this way just to have dinner, are they?
Dear gods, Duncan. You're so plebeian. Of course they will come. Besides, there must be some important people here. Weren't you just talking with them? You can invite them too.
Good luck with that. Are you sure the place is safe now?
Oh my, how polite. I wouldn't have expected that from such a vagabond. But no matter, for I now have the delightful task of decorating an entire house.
Marvelous.
Truly it is. Now, we must get in touch with that splendid woodworker from Camelot. You know the one. He made those exquisite cabinets for the Gévaudan. Oh, and don't forget to pay the nice mercenary. At least someone in this godforsaken place turned out to be useful.
Yes, dear.
Why don't you come visit us once we're all settled, And don't fret. There's no need to make yourself too presentable. I highly doubt we'll be entertaining any important guests just yet. There you are, finally! I've been searching everywhere for you. This is a matter of utmost importance. You simply must help me. My Duncan has gone missing, and if we don't find him soon, he might be in grave danger. Please, you have to find him. I can't possibly be a widow at my age. Mourning clothes are dreadfully unflattering on me. Oh, let me think. Just 2 days ago, or perhaps 3, I've been terribly occupied with redecorating the mansion and designing an entire new wardrobe for our extended stay in the South. Duncan and I never felt the need to be constantly together. In fact, we both find such behavior utterly gauche. A marriage is merely a contract, after all. No need to romanticize it unnecessarily. Oh, yes, of course. Someone delivered a ransom letter to the mansion. Quite absurd, really. Duncan is the one who handles all the finances. I'm not even sure where he keeps the money. And I certainly don't plan to lower myself to meet the demands of some lowlives. That's why I need you to retrieve my husband. He's not dead. Don't be ridiculous. They need him for the money, don't they? Honestly, must I do all the thinking? Marvelous. Here's the letter. All the details should be inside. Now, chop chop, there is no time to waste.
I should have guessed she'd hire you. I was hoping she'd notify the keepers and then just forget about me after a week or two. Just tell her I'm dead, Say, my body was eaten by bears or something. Please, if I go back, we'll just both end up miserable forever. Oh, thank you, thank you. You don't know how relieved I am. Trust me, Alyssa will be better off. A young widow who lost her husband in the south will be the talk of the court. She'll find a new husband in no time. Well then, farewell. No offense, but I hope our paths never cross again.
Well, you're back, but I see that you're alone. Surely a few mere bandits didn't outwit you.
it, I should have guessed she'd hire you. I was hoping she'd notify the keepers and then just forget about me after a week or two. I cut off my finger, just in case someone did come looking. I hoped they'd find it and bring it to Alyssa as proof that I was gone. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I guess I didn't think it all the way through. And yeah, I wasn't expecting it to hurt so much. Just tell her I'm dead, Say, my body was eaten by bears or something. Please, if I go back, we'll just both end up miserable forever. Oh, thank you, thank you. You don't know how relieved I am. Trust me, Alyssa will be better off. A young widow who lost her husband in the south will be the talk of the court. She'll find a new husband in no time. Well then, farewell. No offense, but I hope our paths never cross again.
Well, you're back, but I see that you're alone. Surely a few mere bandits didn't outwit you. He's... What? But you promised to return with him. And the bandits, didn't they want money? And his body? Surely you didn't just leave him there. Oh, gods. That's dreadful. My poor Duncan. Do you think he assumed I wouldn't send anyone for him and attempted to escape on his own? He could be so foolish. Sometimes I felt as though he had absolutely no faith in me. What am I going to do now? Returning to Camelot will be utterly insufferable. Of course I am. I'm not entirely heartless, you know. I may not have loved Duncan, but I didn't dislike him either. Still, crying won't bring him back, and I do need to think about my future, which at the moment seems rather bleak. This is a nightmare. Ugh. I should begin packing, and something must be done about this house. Goodness, I don't even know where to begin. Would you like it? I could part with it for 500 gold coins. Does that sound reasonable for a house? Oh, really? Well, fine. That seems fair. You can have it. I simply can't bear this any longer. Now, I'd love to say it was a pleasure meeting you, but given the circumstances, I sincerely hope to never see you or this place again. Well, and he could, of course, still, this is would you like it? Stay and engage in what precisely? Have you not observed that I lack what one might call practical skills? Aside from my impeccable taste in fashion, that is. I suppose I could open a dressmaking parlor, but where would I even get the materials? Not to mention clientele. I suppose you're right. And when I manage to sell my first masterpiece, the patrons will undoubtedly seek me out. Oh, aren't you astute? I must confess, your perceptiveness surprises me. Really? That would be absolutely marvelous. Well then, I guess I'll think about your offer. Now, would you be so kind as to excuse me? I must begin organizing Duncan's belongings. Indeed. Thank you ever so much. What does one even do as a young widow in the South, besides be pitied? I must think. I envisioned many futures for myself, but this was never one of them. Give me time. allow me a bit of time before we speak again? You must forgive me, but I need some... What does one even do as a young widow in the South, besides be pitied? Yes? What about him? Well, to be perfectly honest, I believe I do. I never anticipated that I would, but his absence does indeed bother me sometimes. You know, I always thought we lived rather separate lives, yet now I sense a certain emptiness around me at times. I find it quite unnerving, I must say. Indeed, that might be true. In Camelot, I was perpetually surrounded by company, be it Duncan, family, friends, oh, and the servants, I suppose. Ah, perhaps you're right. Nonetheless, there is no use in dwelling on such thoughts at the moment. Gods, no. At least, I don't believe so. He was a respectable husband, certainly, but, well, love and marriage are two distinctly separate matters, and only one holds value for a woman in my position. Indeed, but let us not forget, I still bear the esteemed Moray name. My social standing hasn't ceased to exist just because I moved to the south. And what of it, anyway? I'm recently widowed. It would be quite unseemly to commence a search for a new husband so soon. Let me see. Not entirely dreadful. The fabric is almost decent, although the cut is terribly outdated. Whoever wore this must have been near destitute, or just stole it off someone else's corpse, I suppose. Regardless, it presents a fascinating challenge. Thank you for this. Here, a token for your troubles. Oh, you. That's terribly kind of you, truly. But I simply cannot accept it. You are, after all, most likely risking your life to get these for me. Or, well, if not your life, then at least your health and personal hygiene, I suppose. So, regardless of your feelings on the matter, I insist on compensating you adequately. But still, thank you. Goodbye. Have a pleasant journey. I'm so glad you decided to visit today. I've just learned some terribly distressing news, and I need to share them with someone. You see, I was going through the correspondence Duncan left behind, and imagine my shock when I discovered letters between him and my parents. It turns out my family was completely bankrupt when we married. Can you believe that? Though, I must admit, it has shed some light on a few aspects of my upbringing. Well, for one, Have you ever encountered a noblewoman tasked with sewing her own garments? At the tender age of 12, my mother subtly steered me towards tailoring, positing it as a fitting pursuit for a lady of my station. I spent my time redesigning her old dresses, thinking it was just for fun. But now, I realize they probably couldn't afford new ones for me. Why on earth should you be sorry? It's my parents who ought to feel remorse. And Duncan, for concealing the truth from me all these years. I spent my entire life believing my family was above such petty concerns as money, destined for something far more grand. And yet, there I was, sold to the highest bidder. But now I'm relieved you convinced me to stay in the South. It truly feels like a fresh start for me. Surprisingly, no. I thought I would miss the parties, the bustling social scene, my family. But I don't, not really. Camelot was always so stifling. I hardly had a moment to myself. I feared the quiet and isolation here might unnerve me, yet it's been quite the contrary. Moreover, I found our conversations, albeit brief, to be far more sincere than years of superficial chatter with my so-called friends. Oh, well, that's delightful to hear. I would be quite dismayed to think my company was boring you, or worse, that you possessed such lamentable taste as to think so. Oh, trust me, I find plenty of excitement here. The creative kind, of course. Since, well, truth be told, I hardly ever leave the house. It's starting to feel rather stifling, but I haven't yet mustered the courage to go outside and explore. Splendid! This piece is indeed intriguing. Although, I must confess, I was secretly hoping for something with a bit more flair. All my current designs feel tragically mundane, and I've nothing in the house I could use to adorn them. Well, given that we're in the South, it may sound somewhat trite, but I have developed quite a fondness for marine-inspired motifs. I could start with some seashells, perhaps. Not too many, perhaps 12 or so. I'm not certain yet. I'll need to give it more thought. the seashells. Thank you. You know, this might be the most humble gift I've ever received, but it could also be the most precious. Truthfully, I was somewhat skeptical of whether you were actually listening to my ramblings. And for that, I am deeply grateful. I've always had the impression that Duncan became rather weary of my endless babble. Though, upon reflection, I confess I found his conversations equally tiresome. I'm sorry to cut this visit short, but there is something I simply must attend to as soon as possible. But I'd really love it if you visited again soon. Oh, that sounds delightful. Just make sure it's somewhere picturesque, hmm? The South is supposed to be famous for its breathtaking landscapes. But so far, the only thing that's taken my breath away is the smell of fish. Oh, I know. When we came here with Duncan, I noticed a lovely little terrace overlooking the sea. We could go there, make it a proper outing. Maybe a picnic. That sounds charmingly provincial, doesn't it? Oh, I can't wait. Please, let me know when you're ready to set out.
What a nice day.
Absolutely. I've longed to leave these four walls. Oh, I'm terribly curious about where you have chosen to take me. Let's depart. I wish to waste no more time in waiting. This is quite an endearing spot, albeit rather windy, and the decor leaves much to be desired. I must confess that ghastly statue had entirely escaped my memory until now. Now, what shall we talk about? You know almost everything there is to know about me, and yet I hardly know anything about your life. Tell me, have you always been a mercenary? And you just agree? Oh, you poor dear. We must work on your confidence. Trust me, nobody says no quite like a moray. Oh, that is fascinating. I've never met anyone with a talent for the arts. But tell me, isn't using magic forbidden? Have you been practicing and hiding all this time? Oh, I wasn't aware there were different kinds. I'm familiar with the priestesses and their healing arts, though I was led to believe these gifts were divine endowments from the goddess herself. It was perhaps a touch naive, yet rather an uplifting thought. Well, not overly, though I was raised with faith. Some of my peers, without any promising marriage prospects, were candidates for the temple as well. My mother used to threaten to send me there too. Can you fathom me, draped in robes? But I digress. We're here to delve into your enchanting narrative, not mine. Shall we then propose a toast? To you and your clandestine magic. May it forever shield you. Now, I must admit, I've been positively aching with anticipation to delve into the tales of your exhilarating escapades. Your life appears so fabulously thrilling. So, do tell me, what's the most exciting thing that has happened to you recently? Oh, you flatterer. That's rather obvious, isn't it? No. Tell me about some of your real adventures, if you don't mind. Have you encountered any other captivating individuals? Oh, no. Don't tell me that ridiculous little legend the locals insist on sharing is actually true. I do adore a bit of folklore, but to actually believe it, unthinkable. Go on then, convince me. I simply must hear more. As a proper sea monster should be. Nobody weaves grand tales about a monster smaller than a ship, do they? That would hardly have the same thrilling allure. Don't be coy, darling. You should know by now that I rarely do anything for which I have no patience or desire. Besides, the evenings here are indeed rather slow, so the prospect of your delightful company to enliven them is most welcome. Now, I've had a lovely time, but it's getting late, and I'd rather not be caught by nightfall on my way home. I do hope we can do this again sometime. Oh, you've arrived. Marvelous. I must confess, I've been eagerly awaiting your next visit. Today, I have crafted something quite special just for you. Here, behold my very first creation, expressly designed just for you. Well, yes, but not this one, my dear. This one is extraordinary, and not exactly fitting for the court, since, as you very well know, it was sewn together from rags. Nevertheless, I'm confident it will look splendid on you. Besides, I designed it to be practical as well as striking, so it should serve you well on your travels. What? No, of course not. Yes, I've grown rather fond of you. And I am not averse to the idea of exploring a more intimate connection. What? Certainly not. Don't be preposterous. Blushing is a pastime for the timid and unseasoned girls, not for a woman of my stature and breeding. Me blushing? The very thought. No. Really? You seek flattery now? Firstly, I must say, you are quite pleasing to the eye. There's a raw, untamed quality about you that I find absolutely captivating. Beyond that, I find your company immensely enjoyable. You engage with my passions, and you've given me a sense of purpose, something I've dearly needed. It may not seem like much, but to me, it's more than enough. Then I'm relieved to hear that. Well, if you'll pardon my boldness, I would not be opposed to a kiss. And then, perhaps we could see where the evening leads us. Darling, I must say I've thoroughly enjoyed your company. I do hope you don't have to rush off just yet. Do you, dearest? How marvelous! In fact, I've been meaning to suggest something. I've thought about this for a while, and this mansion is rather grand for just one person. I don't know if you already have suitable lodgings, but, well, I'm offering you one now. Oh, think nothing of it. I'd simply love to have you around more, and together we could make this place far more livable, don't you think? The interior is charming enough, but the outside, utterly dreadful. Yes, the view is divine and the beach is pleasant, but we can't very well sit in the sand all day, can we? Oh, and imagine a garden. It would be so lovely to have fresh flowers in abundance. No need to worry, my dearest. I've already drawn up a list of all the improvements we could make. Oh, and it's going to be simply magnificent, I assure you. Is there anything more romantic than a proper garden? Imagine the blossoms in spring, the scent of fresh herbs wafting through the air. I did consider hiring a gardener, but no. It's time for me to sink my fingers into the fresh soil and bring forth the fruits of my own labor, just as village women have done for centuries. It can't be too hard, can it? If the peasants can manage it. The pond is certainly a choice. Well, to be honest, I'm rather used to more ornamental pieces. But this is nice as well. Very quaint, very rustic, fitting. I only hope nothing lays eggs in there. Ugh. Darling, the workshop is simply magnificent. My sanctuary, a place where inspiration can flourish, unburdened by clutter and inconvenience. Oh, just imagine the gowns, the embroidery, the masterpieces that will emerge from these very walls. I hope you're prepared, dearest, because soon everyone will be clamoring for even the smallest samples of my craft. Darling, I must admit, the work you've done around the house is tremendous. Dare I say, you've finally made it feel like home. And while I may have exuded cheer and enthusiasm, deep down I wasn't particularly excited about living in the South at first, you know. I simply wanted something different. But now, I suppose, it's grown on me. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to have someone to share it with. Ah, my dear, you do have exquisite timing. Here, a little something to brighten your day.